For four. Before we get started, housekeeping items. A, there's a couple of you that need to finish off some tests. Get them done. It's already been a couple of days. Don't make it another couple of days and forget everything. Okay. I see we got Dylan, Drace, you need to finish. Kalen, John's from the other class. Was there anyone who wasn't here last time? Tegan, Marcus, Layton, Leslie. Okay. I recommend getting them done today because y'all know there's about 20 inches coming our way. Okay. Or at least that's what it was at like 4:30 this morning. Party starts in a couple hours, and it's going to go through tonight all the way through tomorrow. It doesn't trail off until Wednesday morning. And throughout all of that, we're supposed to be in a high wind warning, which means if any of you live outside of town, don't durdle around outside of or after school. Get home, stay there. Don't bother going anywhere else, because if you're in any open stretches, like I live outside of Bell, that stretch of 85 north and south, you're not going to be able to see diddly on that for the next 48 hours. Okay? That's a dumb idea. That's a really, really dumb idea. I would also not be surprised if they had to shut down the interstate and have no travel advised on any of the other roads. It's going to be a good one. If y'all looking for extra money, you got a shovel or your folks got a snowblower, just go around the neighborhood, and I'll tell you what, how many people got a bad back and just would happily fork over $80 and say shovel my driveway? Absolutely. Okay? 80 depending on how fast you work. Shovel off someone's driveway in 3 hours or so. I mean, that's $27 an hour. Okay? You can make money when you got a storm like this because Spearfish has a lot of rich people, and rich people will pay money to not do things. Okay? So, make sure that you have, when you go home, I already sent out text this morning, make sure you and your folks got your vehicles gassed up. Make sure that you got food for the next couple of days because you might get stuck at home, might get buried with that wind. Y'all remember in December, how many of you had that just like blow adrift in front of your door and now you're stuck? Okay? So make sure that you got stuff at home. If you don't have stuff at home, come talk to me. Okay? No one should. I know I'm not the only teacher who does that. We make sure that kids are taken care of if having resources at home is a issue. Okay? We got you. So what's likely going to happen is the next 2 days off, because even if they were to do, even if it was decent enough out on Wednesday to do an early or a late start, because it's already scheduled as an early release, there's just no point. And they can't just cancel the early release and do a late start, because there's a lot of parents in the district who have already made their childcare plans and all of that based on an early release schedule. Yes, there would be a lot of, and it's going to be the parents who got the money for childcare. It's going to be those folks who are going to come storming up to the principal and superintendent and school board and stuff. So what's likely going to happen is we know we ain't going anywhere tomorrow. Probably going to have Wednesday off because, again, that high wind warning goes all the way through Wednesday. So it's, and we got a 4-day weekend for Zombie Jesus. So we've got, what's likely going to happen is y'all are going to come back on Thursday and then get another 4-day weekend. Okay? That's what's likely. I'm not saying that is what's happening. Yep. Today and probably Thursday. Zombie Jesus. He raised to eat your sins. No, sins. Okay. So we got yeah. Also, again, get those tests done during Spartan time today. Oh, there's something important in there. Shut your noisemaker. God, there was something about that Thursday too. Oh, confirmed at our staff meeting on Friday that they are just going to keep shoving the final schedule down one day at a time for every snow day we have. So if we don't have school tomorrow, that means we will be scheduled for 2 days of finals, 3-day Memorial Day weekend, come back for day of finals. If we have 2 days off, it'll be 1 day of finals, 3-day weekend, 2 days finals. Okay, that's what Morford said on Friday, was that every snow day they're just going to keep shoving it 1 day at a time. Okay. No. However, seniors are getting dangerously close to not meeting their minimum contact hours before graduation, which means the seniors' last day would get pushed back. No. It's literally the law that schools are required to have so many contact hours with students for it to be considered a educational school year. So seniors are getting very close to not meeting their contact hours, so that means that the seniors' last day won't be that Tuesday or Wednesday. It'll get shoved back.
They have to decide that soon.
No.
Does that like affect? Then my work gets messed up.
They don't have to take kids' work schedules into effect. They don't care. So, there's all the snow day stuff. Well caught up, we're cool. Make sure you get your test done. If you didn't get it done, please come down during Spartan time. Don't come down till 2:05. If you come at 2:05, I've got 6 of the fresh meat that are allowed to leave, so I will have table space. Okay? So, last class. All right. 4-4. Do y'all remember? Factor trees. If you got a scrap corner or something like that, maybe it's the page right before this, I don't know. Let's do factor trees. What times what makes 380? What times what makes those? What times what makes those? And you keep going until you hit prime numbers. If you don't remember prime numbers, they are numbers that cannot be broken down into anything besides one and itself. They are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, and on and on and on. Okay.
I can.
They are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, on and on and on. Enter?
Yep.
Okay. So, break it down. Good thing we all got those factor trees, right? Also, you should all have your multiplication chart. Do you remember your divisibility rules? Like if it ends in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, it's divisible by 2. If it ends in a 5 or a 0, it's divisible by 5. If I add the digits together and that number is divisible by 3, then the whole number is divisible by 3. There's all kinds of stuff. Someone. What times what makes 380? 19 and 20? Is that actually? Oh, that's on our chart. Cool. 19 and 20. Can I break down 19?
No.
19 is called a prime number because the only way to make 19 is 19 times 1. And I don't want to do that because then I just wrote 19 again. Like there's no point. Okay. What about 20? Okay. Now if I did 2 and 10 versus I did 4 and 5. Look at what happens at the end of this. Regardless of which way I went, I have 2, 2, 5. 2, 2, 5. At the ends of my branches, I'm only going to have prime numbers. So if I were to write out 380, I would say it's 2 by 2 by 5 by 19. Or if I really wanted to, 2 times 2 could be 2 squared times 5 times 19. Okay? So we need to know how to break things down by prime factors because today you get, I don't know if you've done this before, the reverse of distribution. It's still the distributive property. It's just instead of everyone gets a car, I'm going to take the car away from everyone. You have to find out what they all have in common. Okay, so the example they give us, first with a little bit of vocab, is you've all heard of LCD, least common denominator. Well, greatest common factor, or GCF. I know we've found GCF before, but maybe not with big polynomials like this. So what you would do is, I can't break down 2, but I can break down the x squared. It's x times x. I can break down the 8, 2 by 2 by 2, and then the x. I can break down the 4x cubed, and 4 is 2 by 2, x cubed is x by x by x. And then you get to be like the equal opportunity bully. I'm going to come up to the table and say, give me lunch money.
Yeah.
He's like, all I got is $5. Okay, yoink. Give me your lunch money. And she's like, I only have $2. Oh, give me that. Here, you can have $3 back. And I look over at them and say, give me lunch money. I got 50 cents. Okay, here, let me give this back to you. Let me give this back to you. Okay, I'm going to take 50 cents from all of you. I'm going to see you tomorrow. The equal opportunity bully has to take the same thing from every one of them. So I look at all 3 of these and say, what is the most number of 2's they all have in common? That doesn't have 2 2's. Only 1. See how this has 1, this has 3, this has 2. Equal opportunity bully says, all right, I guess I'm only taking 1 of the 2's away. I'll take 1 from you, I'll take 1 from you, I'll take 1 from you. And I say, how many x's do they all have in common? Okay. This guy's got 2, this guy's got 1, this guy's got 3. Well, I guess I'm only taking 1. So since all of them only had a 2 and an x in common, 2x is my greatest common factor. What's better about this is as I'm factoring them, when I take that 2x out, now it's reverse distribution. If I scribble those out, there's an x left. If I scribble those out, there's a 2 and a 2 left. 2 times 2 is 4. If I scribble them out, there's a 2 and a x squared left over. Reverse distribution, because now look what happens if I distribute. Color, green, there we go. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. 2x times 2x squared is 4x cubed. So instead of distributing everything in, what I'm going to do is take the same thing out. Okay? So it should seem familiar. It's like if you ever played a game where you get hit with, I don't know, some sort of like a flashbang or something, and it makes all your controls reverse. Okay? Well, I'm doing the same thing, it's just, it's all backwards. Okay? And most of us probably aren't going to have the mental math mojo to find that greatest common factor. So that's why we're going to write them out longhand. And then after we get through today's section, you choose how much work you want to show. Okay? But today we're all writing it. So, Frank? Buddy? Okay. Starting with, look at all that alphabet number soup. First thing that I'm going to do is chop up my terms. Then, if you need to factor tree these, maybe you have to do it off to the side, maybe there's enough room for you to write them underneath. In every one of these, like this has an A and a B, I know that much. Oh, wait, colors. But what times what makes 18? Multiplying. Either 6 times 3 or 9 times 2. They will both get you the same answer at the end because this breaks down into 3 and 3. Isn't this 6 by 3? Same thing. So I write this out as 2 by 3 by 3 by A by B. Okay, what about 6? Yeah. So I'll say it's 2 by 3 by A, B. Kind of sounds like a 6-month-old making noises at the table. Ah! Okay, what about 12? Okay, I heard a 4 and a 3. Can either of those break down? The 4. You have to go all the way until you hit those prime numbers. Okay, those are the ends of the branches. Also, don't write the 4. Only the ends of the branches are your prime factors. So this is a 2 by 2 by 3. Then all of that alphabet soup. There's 2 A's, and there's 3 B's. And they say, name the common factors. So what is the most number of 2's they all got in common? Okay. What is the most number of 3's they all got in common? Okay. Most number of A's? Sometimes they don't have too much in common, do they? An A and a single B. I ran out of colors. I'll go back to purple. Okay, so my GCF is 2 by 3 by A by B. 2 times 3 is 6. A by B is just AB. Oh, sorry, they wanted me to write that. 2 times 3 times A times B is 6AB. Now, while I'm here, yep, I said it, I didn't write it.
How many do we need?
15.
Now it bumps up to 15. Now, I know it didn't ask for it here, but if you write everything out longhand like this, if I take that 6AB out, look at what's left when I get rid of all of them. They tell you what is left for each term. There's a 3 plus A squared plus AB squared. What? Oh, I was standing right in front of it. Jeez! It's almost like I've been up since 3:58 and was up twice last night. Kids these days. Okay.
Jonathan, if it makes you feel better, I went to bed at 2 this morning.
That does not make me feel better. That makes me feel disappointed.
Well, it's related to that message I sent you on your mind.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Flip it over. They say, now I'm going to factor this thing. In order to factor this thing, I need to break them down. Well, 3 is already on my list of primes. I can't break down 3. So I'd call that 3 by S by T by T. I can break up 9. What? What times what makes 9?
3.
Okay. So I got a 3 times a 3. And then we've got triple S and double T. What do they got in common? A 3, 1 S, and double T's. So here's the deal. If I take 3 times S times T, getting 3ST squared. When I take that out, it's easy enough for me to say over here, 3STT, I can see what's left. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
How did you get 1 from all 3 S's? Like 1 S from all 3?
Oh, no. This is what is multiplied together. See, S to the third means S times S times S. 3S means S plus S plus S. I'm looking for factors, so that's why it's just a 3 here. That's a good question, though. Okay. That one's easy enough. I can see that there's a 3 and a double S left over. 3S squared. But if I take out a 3, an S, a T, and a T, close. Not 0. 1. Because what I'm doing, what is the opposite of multiply everything? Divide everything. And if I take 3 times s times t, and I divide it by 3 times s times t times t, well, this is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. So don't say 0. Don't just get rid of it. That would be like equal opportunity bully comes up to the table again, and I say, all right, both of you, give me your lunch money. Okay? You've got $3 and you've got $20. I'm taking 3 from both of them. Isn't that all of their money? Right? So if I take all of it, there's still the 1 as a placeholder. So you're just going to write a 1 as a placeholder. That's it. Okay? It never just poofs. Like, you've heard of the laws of physics, right? The law of the conservation of matter. Matter can't just disappear. It can become particulates. It could transcend into energy, but the matter is still there. Well, I can't just poof this into 0. I got to have 1 as a placeholder. Okay? And that's the difference between science and science fiction. Because let's all be honest, Star Wars is just space wizards.
Besides the point.
Dylan, I liked you all year, and then you go and say something like that. All right. Those two, just write the GCF. You don't have to completely factor them. Just tell me GCF. Yes?
So we've never had 1,000 points, so how does that work? When do we get the brownies?
They're on the counter over there.
You just get a whatever?
Oh, I got to cut them up and serve them up.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for everyone to stay on task and get to a time when I have time. Okay? Yes. CJ has asked the question. I saw Leighton over there like prairie dog looking around. I do have the brownies. I do have your ransom.
Oh yeah, I wonder if I missed it.
Y'all need to get some work done. And at one of these spots where everyone is working, I will cut them up. Okay?
So, I get 2 of them?
No. Yeah.
Negotiate. So, what would be my GCF?
Greatest common factor. The biggest thing they have in common. How many A's do they have in common?
1.
Okay. How many B's they got in common? Triple B. So my GCF is A times B cubed.
That's it?
Yeah. And then we'll say what's left. Right now it's just GCF. Yes?
GCIF stuff or whatever.
Okay. Those are 6s. These are B's.
Well, that's how I write my base.
All right.
Okay, bye.
How many A's do they have in common? So? How many B's do they have in common?
1, 2, 3.
So together they have A, B cubed in common.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. This game is so easy now that I get it.
Yeah.
That up.
Yeah.
So 8 goes into that, and then what? 3?
Well, you got a chart over there. You've been coloring on it for a week. Yep.
8 times 2.
And then you got to break up 8 as well.
4
And then 4 breaks up.
2.
So you'll write
2, 4,
2, 2, 2, 3. Only the ends of the branches.
So 2, 2.
2, 2, 2, 3.
Oh. 2, 2, 2,
3.
3.
Then all your little soup. Letter soup. There we go. Lettle. There you go. Do the same thing for 6x and then find out what they have in common. Is there?
So, do I multiply these two or what? Or do I have to find them?
Right now, you're just looking for GCF. You also forgot to break up 6. And you forgot to break up 24. If they're not on those prime number lists, then you ain't done.
So I gotta break them up?
Yeah. What times what makes 24?
6 and 4.
What times what makes 6? What times what makes 4?
2 times 2.
What times what makes 6?
3 times 2.
So I don't write them like this. The stuff at the ends of the branches. And then you also need to break this guy up. 1, 2, 3 x's. There you go. And then that. Okay, now, what's the most 3's they got in common? What's the most 2's they got in common? Uh-huh. What's the most x's they got in common? Oh. Gonna look like, I don't know, like a party animal balloon or something. Yeah, there we go. So 3 times 2 times x is your GCF, which is 6x. Okay? All right. Get out of here.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
If you helped him, why isn't he done? All you did was write down the answer.
Nah, I showed the word right.
Okay. Contestant 1 is only alphabet soup. You write it out as an A and A. This guy's just an A. That's got triple B, so 1, 2, 3. This guy's got 4 B's, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I look for common factors. They share an A, and they share a triple B. So, A by B by B by B is AB cubed. Okay. Now, they didn't ask for it. I'm just warming us up for next time. If they asked us to factor it, then I'd have that AB cubed would come out. Look at what's left. A plus B. Because that's what's left after I get rid of all the common stuff. That's easy to do when it tells me the exponents because I just write that many of my variable. When I go to number town, then maybe off to the side I have to write what times what makes 24? 12 and 2. 12 is 6 and 2. 6 is 3 and 2. Be careful that you only write the things at the ends of the branches. Don't write the 6 and the 12. Don't write the 8. Don't write the 4. Only the things at the ends of the branches. So this becomes 2 by 2 by 2 by 3. Now write out x's. 6, on the other hand, a little bit easier, is just 3 by 2. So I'll write that one as 2 by 3 by x. If I'm looking for what they have in common, they both have a 2. They both have a 3. they both have an x. So if I write all that out, there's a 2 by 3 by x, or 6x in common. If they wanted the factor, they don't right now, but I'm still going to show you. The 6x comes out. You take everything that's left. 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. 4x squared. What's left here?
1.
1 is a placeholder because everything went bye-bye. Okay? And that's what the next thing is. So, some of us might be able to mental math our way through this after a while, but I'm going to tell you, you write it out. If you don't got the work to back it up, I ain't going to believe you. All right, flip it over. Now we're going to fully factor. So, they give you a expression, polynomial. I break it up into its factors, or sorry, its terms. Then each of these is going to get broke up. What times what makes 10? And also remember with these, multiplication's commutative, right? The order doesn't matter. So this is a 2 by 5 by g by g. This one. What times what makes 12? Can I break either of those up? Yeah, 6. So I got to keep going. And only put the ends of the branches. That's 2 by 2 by 3 by quadruple G's. Yeah? No, you don't write this part. It's the ends of the branches. Those are the primes because I can't go any further.
I thought you wanted us to write down all that.
No. Just the stuff at the ends. It's kind of like if you look at a tree in full bloom in, beginning of June. You don't see any of the branches and crap in the middle. You just see the leaves on the outside, right? That's what should be written on the line. The leaves at the end. 8. 2 and 4. 2 and 2. So what goes on the line? 2 by 2 by 2. And G. So, common factors. How many 2's they got? Just the one. How many 3's do they have in common? None. Right? This guy's missing a 3. This guy's missing a 3. Equal opportunity bully says, well, if you don't have lunch money, I guess I'll just check back with you tomorrow. Okay? So I don't worry about the 3's. What about 5? Same deal. G's. G's. No, it's not. That's like a D-tier dad joke. Don't laugh at that. They only got one G in common, so my greatest common factor is just 2 times G is 2G. So now comes the part where I tell you what's left. If 2G is what's coming out, then come back here and get rid of that 2 and that G that they have in common. Whatever is left on the line tells you what's left after you divide by a 2 and a G. So first guy is going to have a 5 and a G left there. Careful with the second guy. Dude. Not cool.
I'm sorry, Grace.
See, that's a 2 and a 3. So call it 6. How many g's we got? So we'll say g cubed. And the last term, a 2 and a 2 is 4. Now, here's something that I don't really like about how the book does it. Look back at the original problem. Wasn't that a minus 8g? So the way that I normally like to write those is I'll leave my negative here, but just so I don't screw this up, I'd put a -1 times 8 and then break this up so that I remember to put a -1 here. So at the end, I remember that it's -4. Okay? They took care of it for us. They already had the minus there. That's not always going to be the case. Oh. Okay? So anytime there's a negative number, I just immediately split it into -1 and the thing. That way I remember that I might have to have a negative in front. Okay? We'll do more of them, but I don't like that they just kind of glossed over the fact that that negative existed. So we'll do more. Come here. There we go. So pick one of these 4. I'm going to go again. Let me guess. That's why. We're up here talking about math, and you two are blabbing across the room. You say, why don't you ever let us sit together? This is my I don't care face. Y'all, just... First one. Okay. So along with each of these, is this a -6 or not? See how this is a -18? So when I break this up, I'm going to want to put -1 by 18 and then keep going. Was this a -15? So I won't have it there. Okay? So I'm just telling you, I'm going to do that so I don't screw this up. Contestant 1. 6, we already said, is 3 and 2. Write it out longhand. 2, 3, double M, quadruple N. I don't know about you, but I really hate that they put like G's next to 9s and 6s. They put M's next to N's. It's like they're intentionally messing with you in the problems. Okay, contestant 2, the way that I break this up, I immediately go to -1 and 18. So I don't forget the negative. Okay, now break up 18. I heard a 9 and 2, 3 and 3, or if I did 6 and 3, the 6 would break up into 3 and 2 anyway. Right? So the order you do it in doesn't matter. I write out a -1 by 2 by 3 by 3, and then all my alphabet soup. Double M's, double N's. Okay. 15. Just an M, just an N. All right. What do we got in common? Do we have a -1 for all of them? Do we have a 2 for all of them?
15 and
That one's throwing us off. How about 3s? Yes. How many? Just the 1. So okay. What about 5s? No. So I just got a 3. How about M's and N's? Okay. Got a M and a N. So at the end of the day, we got just plain old 3MN. So down below that, when they want us to actually factor this, right here, let me move this up. Move all this up. There we go. That's better. I'll take that 3MN out. And after I take that 3MN out, I go back and I'm cross out everything that they had in common. So now each line tells me what's left. The top row, 2M what? Oh, N cubed. I got 3 of them. Next row, -1 times 2 times 3. -6, yep. MN. And then it's just 5. So is it +5 or -5? +5. There you go. That's factoring. And you should know that you're right, because if I factored correctly, I should now be able to distribute and get right back where I started. 3 times 2 is 6. M times M is M squared. N times N cubed is N to the 4th. And I could do it with every one of the terms. That's how you check your problems. You don't actually have to do that, but hint, hint, your next test, no one should have anything wrong because you have the ability to check them. Okay? The other ones, 4, 5, and 6, give them a go. Also, last time I asked, no one in here fessed up to having any food allergies, right? Eggs, gluten, lactose.
I'm lactose gluten free.
You're sure?
Yeah, I'm lactose too, but yeah. Especially since we're not allowed to.
I mean, there's some people that are lactose like
Definitely lactose.
I'm gonna crop dust people in the halls, and then there's people that are lactose like I'm gonna die. So
I'm like in between. And sometimes it's no meat.
Wait, it's good to get both. Right, so you
hey, math. There we go. Yo.
What if they're like, oh wait, never mind, I'm not.
Okay. We'll go to 20. Oop.
So that should be like this. We only take what's on the side. So you know you yeah. Three.
Whatever conversation is happening needs to stop.
Oh, weirdos. Weirdo talking about 8th graders.
Nope. Zero.
You're freezing. You're freezing out. Put you in jail. Huh?
Four.
Older sister.
Okay.
Come on. Take a chill pill, dude.
We done with all three.
Yeah. I got one done.
Trace, are you starting to realize you might be the problem?
I have not the problem. So the problem would say you're the problem. You started this combo. I stopped talking about it. I get talking about ordering stuff on Amazon or something like that. You'll figure it out one day. Just that one time.
Okay. When you are done with your 3, ladies and enemies first, always destroy the patriarchy. That means, dudes, you stay there. Everyone else come up and get a brownie.
It's very hard for me.
There's forks over there if you don't want to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, Kaylee, I know it's a mess.
Yes.
This makes no sense. My brain hurts.
Okay. Which one now? Yeah, that too.
6.
Okay. 6?
Yeah, I don't.
Because you didn't keep going. You don't write the 8 or the 4. Only the ends of the
I
branches.
tried. I attempted.
Okay. In fact, I would actually show that is just circle ends of branches.
Oh.
Like that. Okay? So now, this one's got no X's. They both got 2 Y's in common, and then 2's.
They got 2 2s.
So, 2 by 2, Y by Y, is 4Y squared. And then, tell me what's left.
4 and x cubed.
And
Y cubed.
since I didn't see a -1 on this line, less. Just like that. Dude. Y'all suck.
Bro, what?
Fellas, you can come get yours.
Bro,
You already ate mine, walked over there. Absolutely devoured. Thank
I
you.
get 2 of them, right?
No.
I was gonna get that one.
Yeah, I know. I was looking for the biggest one.
Keep asking, I'll come over and put my finger in the middle of your brownie.
I still eat it.
Like, mine.
I still eat it. Still left.
4 2s.
No brownies. Yeah, that's what? I don't think it.
That was funny.
No, it wasn't. I seem like the a-hole.
Okay, got yours, got yours.
That's what you could have you could like, I was in the bathroom.
I guess.
That's funny. You would have done it. Nah, maybe you wouldn't have done it to me. I just thought it was fine.
Yeep. Flop.
No.
There we go.
Like that. Number 20, you got 3. I'm like, what'd you get to play?
you done the brownie thing, like for students?
15 years.
It's like since I was born.
Yeah. For the low price of 1 or 2 trays of brownies per semester, you get kids watching you and paying attention to you because they want to prove you wrong.
Nice shot.
Mm.
I know, it's not terrible. I think he's good.
For real. I literally beat him in one block. Bro, he's so bad. He took it to airball like a free throw.
All right.
I had like 20 points the last game. Oh, it's crazy. I had like 3.
I had like 7 points. This one can't sit next to each other. You guys are so loud. It's in your fault.
You started the combo again.
Yeah.
Talking about basketball.
Really, watch this like
And he's around that didn't trigger you to say anything.
Yeah, Sean.
Right?
You're quiet.
Bro, I'm helping you.
Yeah, why are you talking about it? He's helping you.
What?
Dude, this kid is so lost.
Okay, got everything broken up? Yo.
6. That's 25.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm blame him. Nope. I'm blaming Drace.
Bro.
No, so at the times is at the top.
You're robbing us of
No.
a brownie point. I'll write it up there. Don't
I
worry
ain't
about it.
counting that.
But
No, I'm blaming him because out of the corner of my eye, I see him trying to curl these like dumbbells. So, all right. First one. GCF. What do they have in common?
Two G's.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
So if we have a 3 by G, that's 3G squared. And then be careful about what's left. If I take 3G squared out of 3G squared, it doesn't just poof. Put your 1 as a placeholder. And then 2 by 2 is 4, G by G is G squared. Okay. Next one. You see why I put that -1 out front now?
Yep.
If I recognize that they share a -1 and they share a 5, and how many S's? 2 S's? 2 S's. And 2 T's. Right? They're just rubbing it in right now. If I put all that stuff together, a -1 times a 5 times double S double T is, if I smack all of it together, -5 S squared T squared. And once I get rid of those, and I'd recommend just like, I don't know, shading the stuff that you took out. Lightly cross it out, shade it, something. You still want to be able to read your work. It tells me what's left. 2 by 2 was just 4. And plain old S is just plus S. That's it. Contestant number 6. You look for what they have in common. I see double 2. No X's in common. Double Y. So if there's a 2 by 2 by y, then on the outside, we'll have 4y squared. On the inside, whatever's left. 2 by 2 is 4. Triple x is x cubed. Triple y is y cubed. Okay? I hope you all see the benefit of writing these out longhand. I know that writing things out longhand can be annoying. When we get enough practice with this, look at everything that I wrote here, and then see if you can follow the bouncing ball. If I wrote out 16x cubed y squared plus 4y the fifth, and I didn't write any of that. If you're good with your numbers, can you recognize that the biggest thing that 4 and 16 have in common is 4? You go and look at the x's. Well, this guy's got no x's, so I guess I'm not taking any x's out. Can you look at the y's and say, well, they got 2 in common? But then you have to be able to divide in your head. 16 divided by 4 is 4. X cubed. Y squared divided by y squared, no more y's. 4 divided by 4 is 1. I don't write invisible ones. Y to the fifth divided by y squared is y to the third. If you got the mental mojo, you don't have to write them all out longhand. But just like when we did exponents all the way back at the beginning of the year, writing it out longhand will get you unstuck. Okay? Don't be afraid to write them out longhand. Right. All right. It says blah, blah, blah area. The area of the rectangle is modeled by the this. The width is the GCF. Boy, is this just blah, 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 do what you just did. Right? So, 2x to the fifth. How do I break it up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. 30. Can I do this without a factor tree? Okay, I know that there's a 3 in there. 3 times what? 10. But 10 breaks up. You see how writing that 30 off to the side with your branches might keep me from goofing some of this up? And then 1, 2, 3. Triple X. That was just a lame good movie. Uh-huh. I mean, that's like 20 years ago, too. It was bad even then. But it's a good bad. It's one of those, like, it's a train wreck. You just got to watch it.
Yeah,
Right?
All over the place.
All right. You look for what they have in common. I see a 2 and a triple X. So, if I take a 2 and an x cubed out, they tell me what's left. X times x is x squared. 3 times 5 is 15. That's it. Okay? Take a look at where we're at. Get them. Aw.
Russian taught her to slap so that Frank would.
Slap! Yep.
It reminded me of the days when I lived with Tom. I was and the day I had to remind myself.